Okay, so now I'm gonna read the next chapter of the WWE Championship, a look back at the rich history of the WWE Championship, written by Kevin Sullivan. Before I do that, I gotta do some plugs. If you want to check out the other videos pertaining to this playlist, you can click right up there and check it out. Um, because I'm not gonna review anything else. This is just gonna be one chapter, read aloud. It's not gonna be the whole thing. So if you wanna see it, I've only been doing it by chapters. You click right up there. And if you want to see, if you want to check out the Massasoit Wrestling Corner, to click down below. It's hosted by me, James, and Ori Dre. James the Heatman Hebert. And it's a lot of fun to do. And we have a really good time. It's a lot of fun. We just sit down and talk about all the wrestling that happened that week, and I think it's a lot of fun to do. And we're gonna be making a video on Friday, September 18th, 2015, at 2 o'clock p.m. And that's gonna be a lot of fun. Check that down below. You can check out my channel down on the left and subscribe to that, so you can get future content on this channel. Because you won't see it unless you subscribe, unless you come and click on my channel, but it's just easier to subscribe, so that way you'll instantly know that a video is coming. And then on my other channel, on the Talkinator over here, where I make non-wrestling videos, I'm going to be making a video on there Friday. And my CM Brothers channel over here, where I talk about both wrestling and non-wrestling related topics. And I'm going to try to make a video on there either tomorrow or sometime this week. And then my friend James Heber, who hosts who hosts the Massasoit Wrestling Corner with me, is has two other YouTube channels, and the first one's called James Heber. You can click somewhere on this video to find it, and it's a video where he makes voiceovers of songs and custom Titantrons of professional wrestlers. It's a lot of fun to check that out. And then you can check out his other channel somewhere on this video, Weymouth Youth Wrestling, and he's holding a 32-man to crown the very first ever WYW World Heavyweight Champion, and I'm one of those people in that tournament, and I'm going to win the whole thing and become the brand new WYW Champion. Now that I've gotten all that other stuff out of the way, let's read this book. And this is Chapter 8, and it's called The Mega Powers Explode. And if you have no clue what I'm talking about, I'm about to tell you. Jack Tunney's decision to vacate the title marked the first time in... hold on, let me silence my phone, because then if it goes off, then, yeah. Hold on one second. Alright, I just have to silence my phone. I didn't think it was worth going back and doing this again, because it's gonna go off. Okay, now let's read this thing. Jack Tunney's decision to vacate the title marked the first time in WWE's 25-year history that there was no champion. To file the vacancy, the president ordered a 14-man tournament to take place in March 1988 at WrestleMania 4. At the two most... Oh, wait, hold on, I'm sorry. At the two most recent titleists, Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan were scheduled to face each other, but not before receiving automatic buys into the quarterfinals. And this is a picture of Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant right there. That was pretty cool. Amazingly, the built-in advantage did little to help them regain the gold. Both superstars were disqualified after blatant use of a steel chair. With Andre and Hogan no longer in the title hunt, Ted DiBiase and Macho Man Randy Savage advanced to the finals with relative ease. Prior to the start of the match, special guest ring announcer Bob Uecker, I think is how you say his name, had the honor of introducing each superstar. The $1 Million Man made his way to the ring first to very little fanfare. In 1988, it was still common for superstars to walk to the ring, Saints entrance themes. I don't know what the hell that means, because I don't know what that word means. DiBiase at the time was one of those superstars who practice very little pageantry. I don't know how to say that word either. Savage was the anti-DiBiase. Once his signature theme song, Pop and Circumstance, ran from the Trumpa Plaza loudspeakers, the capacity crowd erupted, making it nearly impossible to hear Yuka's introduction. Pretty much, I guess what they're trying to say is everybody hated Ted DiBiase, but they liked the Macho Man Randy Savage. That's what they're trying to say. It just doesn't go into detail. When Savage and his manager, Miss Elizabeth, finally emerged from the dressing room area, they were wearing a different ring robe and dress than earlier. It was their first wardrobe change of the night. He didn't want to rob people of seeing him for the first time, even if it was the fourth. He took his aspect of the business very seriously, says Savage's brother, former WWE superstar Lanny Poffo, who is also known as the Genius. He didn't believe the match started when the bell rang. He believed the match started when the dressing room door opened. He spent a lot of money on these robes. And yeah, there were a lot of robes that Macho Man Randy Savage had. Savage was indeed a superior showman outside the ring. Once the bell rang, however, he was all business, something the $1 Million Man found out the hard way. By match's end, he found himself victimized by a Macho Man flying elbow drop. The move effectively ended DiBiase's dreams of becoming a legitimate WWE champion. And that was Macho Man Randy Savage's first ever WWE championship reign. WWF at that time. And I think that was just really cool. Because you had people like Hulk Hogan, you had people like the Ultimate Warrior, all these muscle guys in there. And Savage was a muscle guy. But I just think like it's cool that he got a shot because it doesn't feel like that he was really supposed to get a shot because he was a muscle guy, but he also did some high flying moves in the ring as well, and he was just great in the ring. Savage was great, and his promos, that voice, the "oh yeah" was great. One of the greatest of all time. It's a shame that what ended up happening. So let's continue. Savage's victory marked the accumulation of an 18-year journey. Making the moment even more special was the fact that he got to share it with his real life love, Elizabeth, because they actually were married in real life. He also shared the spotlight with Hulk Hogan, who joined the couple in celebrating the victory. As a result, the lasting image of WrestleMania 4 will forever be Savage holding Elizabeth on his shoulder while Hogan stands nearby pointing at the celebratory couple. And then it says Hulk remained by the new champ's side for many months following WrestleMania 4, known as the Mega Powers. Hogan and Savage form a union that struck fear into WWE's most formidable superstars. Yeah, because they became the Mega Powers, and that was like a great tag team at the time. Let's continue. The only tandem they failed to impress were the Mega Bucks, DiBiase and Andre, who confidently agreed to battle the champ and his partner in the first ever SummerSlam main event. And there's a picture of Macho Man Randy Savage and Elizabeth right there. Just as they promised, DiBiase and Andre owned much of the match's momentum. But just when it looked like they were going to pick up the win via countout, Elizabeth climbed to the ring apron and removed her skirt to reveal a very scumpy red undergarment. By 1988 standards, the mini striptease proved to be quite risque, and it also worked to distract the Mega Bucks and special guest referee Jesse Ventura. Hogan and Savage used the distraction to climb back into the ring and dispose of Andre. Macho Man then landed a flying elbow drop on the $1 Million Man, which was followed by a Hogan leg drop for the win. That was pretty cool. I've already covered that match, so The sold-out Madison Square Garden crowd roared as the victors celebrated in an act of unaltered jubilation. I think that says. The Hulkster grabbed Miss Elizabeth and gave her a gigantic hug. Savage spotted the embrace and looked on quizzically, but he eventually shrugged it off and continued to celebrate. And that's like a little tease of what ends up happening later on in this chapter. Hogan kept getting closer to Elizabeth as the new year approached, which each passing with each passing month he continued to make what Savage saw as questionable advances toward the beautiful manager, but the champ let each one slide. Finally, in February 1989, Macho Man had enough. During a tag team encounter with the Twin Towers, a fed-up Savage slapped Hogan across the face before ultimately walking out of the match, effectively ended their nearly year-long union. To help further drive home the point that the Mega Powers were done, Savage attacked Hogan in the locker room after the match. The final exclamation point helped put the wheels in motion for Hogan and Savage's epic encounter at WrestleMania 5. I thought that heel turn too when Savage attacked Hogan in the dressing room was awesome. I really enjoyed that. That was great stuff. For the only time in WWE history, the same venue played host to back. Hold on, let me read that again. For the only time in WWE history, the same venue played host to back-to-back WrestleMania shows when Trump Plaza was selected as the site for the 5th annual event. 13 matches made up the event's undercard, and while each offered great intrigue, none were as heavily anticipated as the main event: Randy Savage versus Hulk Hogan for the WWE Championship. Everybody loved it because it was a high-build match. They were a tag team. I mean, it technically builds back to WrestleMania 4 when Hogan helped Randy Savage win the WWF Championship, and then they became a tag team, and then they just broke up, and I thought that was great. Midway through the match, referee O'Hedner deemed Elizabeth's presence at ringside too distracting to the competitors, so he ejected her from the arena. With the beautiful manager out of the way, Savage and Hogan were left to decide which superstar was the better man, minus any outside distractions. And there you can see there's a picture of Hulk Hogan right there. I just figured I'd bring that up. In the end, the Hulkster proved to be much... No, hold on. Let me read that again. In the end, the Hulkster proved to be too much for the Macho Man. With a boot to the face, followed by a trademark leg drop, Hogan put an end to Savage's epic year-long WWE Championship reign. In the nearly 20 years that followed, such great names as Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, and Stone Cold Steve Austin went on to capture the WWE title, but none were able to hold it as long as Randy Savage. It wouldn't be until John Cena in 2007 that the title stayed around a single waist for more than a year, which is actually pretty impressive that Savage held it for that long during the time period like the Hogan era and stuff like that. I think that's pretty cool. Hogan's victory over Savage made him only the second man to hold the WWE Championship on more than one occasion. Bruno Sammartino was the other, which we talked about earlier in the book. It also helped catapult his career back to the silver screen. I mean, it probably was there anyways, so I don't know why it says that. In June 1989, Vince McMahon teamed with New Line Cinema to produce No Holds Barred, a major motion picture starring the WWE champion. Hogan was cast to play the role of Whip, a popular superstar who must prevail an evil consortium, I don't know how to say that word, from killing his friends. Whip ultimately foils the dastardly plan when he defeats chief antagonist Zeus, who was played by Tommy Tiny Lister. Despite the happy ending, No Holds Barred failed at the box office. It also spawned a large level of animosity between stars Hogan and Zeus, which eventually bled over to the WWE arenas. Over the next several months, the Hulkster teamed with longtime friend Bruce the Barber Beefcake to systematically dismantle any hope Zeus had of becoming a full-time professional wrestler, which thank God that didn't happen because Zeus sucked. While Hogan was successfully turning back Zeus, a new force was beginning to gain favor with the WWE fans. After defeating the Honky Tonk Man in record time to capture the Intercontinental Championship in August, Ultimate Warrior saw a great spike in popularity. For the next several months, fans were able to turn on their TVs with great confidence, knowing that their two favorite heroes were in complete control of WWE's singles titles. But as 1990 approached, it was becoming apparent that there was only room at the top for one megastar. Hogan and Warrior were on a collision course. A battle between the two superstars was inevitable, and the only one event could host such a dream match, WrestleMania. And that's the end of the chapter. So that's it. I'm kind of mad about this chapter. We didn't really go into detail for Macho Man Randy Savage career. Usually what they do is if they bring up a new style in this book, they kind of tell us like how they built him up to get to the WWF title. But I think the reason they didn't do that is because what ended up happening with Savage, they ended up not liking him that much anymore, so that's what happened. So that's what I kind of hated about this book. It kind of seemed like they just kind of, hey, he was champ. You know, it's good. They didn't really make Savage feel like he was like a much of a legend as he was in this chapter. So that's what I kind of hate about it. But it's obviously why they did it. Because they, Savage and the WWE and Vince McMahon weren't at good terms at that time. So, they couldn't do it. At least they got Lanny Poffo to talk about what he was saying. But yeah, I mean, there's obviously reasons why Savage and McMahon never talked again, but that's something we're here to talk about. Here to talk about this book, but I thought this was a decent chapter. Just wish they could have gone, but it's an obvious reason why they couldn't. But thanks for watching this video. I'll be back to do another read aloud series like this in the future, or just another video in general in the future. But that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching, and continue to watch. And thanks for watching. Talk to you later.